still haven't seen your entire one for a while. Your entire offensive line.
Not yet.
Offense really just, I guess, you have to kind of project a lot of things, right? I mean, going into the regular season, or do you?
I mean, you do, but you have a good projection on, what those guys are capable of doing, because the guys that are going to be in there are veteran guys. I mean, we have a positive outlook on what we're going to look like come season start.
What about, I mean, the quarterback also is part of that equation too. I mean, does that complicate, projecting things in the coaching staff at all?
Not too much because he's in all the meetings. He's been around, so you didn't lose too much. Obviously you want to physically see it, get the reps, but we're getting very close to that. So, we're excited.
When you and Frank are going through the offense in like the off season, do you ever ask yourself, why don't we give Naheem the ball more?
That was one of the questions that came up, in the off season as we looked at the film and studied. Like, this guy, when the ball's in his hand, he just makes plays. He's very talented. You could tell the game has slowed down to him, so he looks even much faster, when you're watching him. So he's definitely one of many weapons that we got to make sure he's involved, week in, week out.
And then I obviously understand why you don't give him more touches because you have 28 in front of him. How do you balance what they both do well and getting them both as many looks as possible?
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of the job as coaches. We got to find ways to be creative, whether, especially with Naheem, that could do multiple things, whether it's from the backfield, whether it's, out as a receiver, whether it's some of the gadget things that we do with him. So we just got to continue finding different ways to keep them both involved.
Do you think he's a little bit more confident this year? It seems like a little bit different.
You could see it. I mean, just his presence, his feel for the game. I mean, his decision making is that much quicker. It's no more. It's really less thinking. He just freaking playing, and he just looks that much quicker and faster.
So right away in camp.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of tell in the spring, and then even through training camp, you could see it once he was out there. He's just faster out there.
With him, is there a balance though on how much is too much? You want to get him his touches, but.
I mean, it's going to be a week-to-week basis. What is the team giving up? How can we utilize his skill set? And then, we got plenty of weapons, so how we utilize everybody's skill set. But, I mean, we definitely want to keep him involved.
With T.Y. out, I know a lot of receivers are going to have to step up, but Michael Pittman in particular, is that the guy that is ready to lead a receiver room?
He is. I mean, he's ready to have a big year this year. I thought he's had a strong training camp, and he's ready to get out. I mean, he was fighting to get on the field during the preseason. We had to hold him back. So he's ready to go. I mean, ZP is going to be ready to go. Paris looked good this training camp. So, I mean, we got plenty of weapons going in. So they all got to pick it up.
I know Zach, in the times that T.Y. has missed before, Zach has picked up a lot of what you guys lost there, I guess. Is that going to be expected of Zach again, is to kind of do some of the things that T.Y. was?
A little bit, yeah. Him and then Paris. Having Paris healthy this year, that's going to help. He can do some of the things that T.Y. does. So, I mean, we just got to mix it up, and everybody's got to pick up the load.
And Marcus, I know Ross was not to come on, but as you look at your receivers now, everybody talks about Pittman, Pascal, Paris. Who's number 4? Because somebody has to slide in that role with T.Y.
Right. I mean, the good thing is we have depth at that position. With Ashton healthy, with Mike Strawn, and then Dez is down. When we get him back, he won't be gone too long. So when we get him back, we have depth. So all those guys got to be ready to step up.
Why is Strawn at the position? We've seen it, but from a coordinator standpoint, why is he at the position where, if needed, you guys feel comfortable to step in and place him?
I'm saying, why do we feel comfortable with him? Just through training camp. He just progressed through training camp. He's still learning, because he is young, and the more reps that he gets, the better that he's going to get. And so it's going to be just our job of just managing that aspect. Don't overload him with too much. Keep it simple early, and then let him progress throughout the season.
He's just playing one spot right now, I imagine.
I mean, you could say he plays in one spot, but we move guys around a lot, so he's got to learn every position.
Marcus, has this camp sort of been what the season's going to be, how you have to be ready to adjust? I mean, you thought you were going to have this, and then Kelly, and then do you have to sort of always be ready to?
Yeah, that's kind of been the story, all the time. That's the NFL. You got to be ready to adjust at any given moment because you never know what could happen, whether it's injuries, now you got COVID, anything could pop up. And as professional athletes in this business, you just got to be ready to not blink and just go.
You said you projected what you think you're going to have. You think you know what you're going to have, but won't know until you get out there and see it.
I mean, we got to see it, but I mean, we have a good. I mean, it's a very educated guess. I mean, we're working with these guys day in and day out, so we kind of have a feeling of what we got.
I know this is not your problem technically, but a guy like DeForest Buckner, you see him in training camp ones-on-ones. If you had to deal with a guy like that on Sunday, what's your plan?
He was our problem during training camp. No, he's a very good player. Not on Sundays, yes. No, very good player. He's very disruptive inside. I mean, we got to make sure that we're targeting him and we could get 4 hands on him. Guard center, helping him at times. You can't do it every play, but when you can, you got to try to help those guys out.
And those doubles come at the expense of other things, don't they? For when other teams have to make those choices, what are the consequences of having to make that choice a lot?
I mean, you just got to, weigh the pros and cons. Certain plays you got to try to get 2 hands on them, and then other plays where it's okay. Well, we got to risk it. Hey, you're by yourself this play. So, and we got good. The good thing is that we got a solid group up front where they can handle it. But at the same time, as coaches, we're going to try to help them out a little bit.
With that kind of a player, isn't that? I mean, you hate pressure as a quarterback. Isn't the inside pressure where it really can mess things up?
It can, because that's where the quarterback wants to feel safe, where he can just step up in the pocket. If you got speed rush guys on the edges, he wants the safe haven for a quarterback to step up into the pocket. And we got a good group up front, and if they could keep that, keep the pressure from getting too into the quarterback, then the quarterback could be fine. We could help the tackles there. So when you got a guy that's disruptive inside, it could cause a little bit of problems.
As far as preparing for week 1, you're probably going to have Julian at left tackle, it seems like right now. How much, not to slight Julian, but not Anthony Costanzo.
Right.
When you're making a playbook for week 1, how much do you have to say, okay, that we can't do, or we have to give him X amount of help, or how do you kind of prepare for that?
Situationally. Depends when we feel like they're going to be speed rushing off the edge. It could be depending on scheme, what type of plays, a long developing play, then maybe we do. But it's going to be a good balance of just mixing it up.
Are there fewer of the longer developing plays just because you don't have somebody like Anthony Costanzo you can trust on the left side?
It depends. Depends what the defense is giving us. Yeah. We got to be able to trust him.